Hello everyone, so recently I've been training fishing and wondered, are Casket Scrimshaws worth using? From the release of Port's Batch 3 update, two new Scrimshaws were introduced for fishing, which are the Whopper Baiting and Casket Salvaging. The Whopper Baiting Scrimshaw has a 10 to 20% chance, depending on which version used, to give additional fishing experience whilst fishing, and the Casket Salvaging Scrimshaw has a chance of finding wooden caskets for each successful fish caught. Since the Whopper Baiting Scrimshaw is pretty self-explanatory, I'll be going over the Casket Salvaging instead to see if it is worth using. From the description of the Casket Salvaging Scrimshaw, it reads, "For each successful fish caught, there is a chance to find wooden caskets, and the higher level fishing, the more likely to receive caskets. Wooden caskets that can be received when fishing with the Scrimshaw include oak, teak, and mahogany. For this test, I went to fish at Baxterian Falls for leaping fish, as barbarian fishing can catch one of the most fish per hour as compared to any other fishing method. I also purchased 3 Casket Salvaging Scrimshaw on the Grand Exchange, and they bought for $750,000 each, which is much less than the actual price of 1.2 mil. The Scrimshaw lasted 3 hours each, so I fished for 9 hours in total to get a rough estimate on the amount of caskets obtained and what you can expect. The amount of caskets I obtained in 9 hours was 170 in total, with 80 oak, 69 teak, and 21 mahogany. This averages to approximately 18.8 caskets per hour. So what can you expect to receive when opening up these caskets? Casket rewards may include coins, uncut gems, half keys, ingredients to make porters, divine fish bubbles, crystal triskelion keys, and port resources. Each type of wooden casket can have varied rewards, with oak being common, teak uncommon, and mahogany rare. After opening up all caskets, the overall price for all tradable items costs 2 mil, and the price for purchasing all Scrimshaw costs 2.25 mil in total, so 240,000 was lost in the end. On the other hand, a plentiful amount of port resources were obtained in the process. Rather than looking at the loss and profit, we can also determine how much time was saved. Before opening up all caskets, I wrote down how many resources I had before and how much I had after. By using the amount of resources gained along with how much time it takes to send a voyage for that particular resource, we can calculate how much time is saved as a whole. Since each region varies with the amount of resource given per voyage and the time taken to send, we can determine how long each resources take by finding the average time. For example, the Arc region takes roughly 21 to 30 minutes per voyage, and each bamboo resource given can vary between 40 and 160. We can find the average time it takes by using the mean min and max speed of a voyage in that region, then taking the average resource that region gives, followed by how many ships available to use. So the average speed for the Arc region is 25.5 minutes, while the average resource for bamboo is 100 and ships available is 2, 3, or 4. Since 1,634 bamboo was received from opening all caskets, we calculate the average time to collect this amount by dividing 1,634 by 100, then multiplying by 25.5, and lastly dividing by either 2, 3, or 4. Which means the average time it takes to collect 1,634 bamboo can take anywhere from 1.7 to 3.5 hours approximately. From this equation, we can apply this to the other port resources to find the average time it takes to collect each one. Applying the equation, you can collect 2,255 gunpowder in 4.3 to 8.6 hours, 3,098 black slate in 10 to 20 hours, 1,698 cherry wood in 6.3 to 8.4 hours, 2,010 jade in 13.6 to 18.1 hours, 2,460 stainless steel in 17.6 hours, 168 terracotta in 3.5 hours. Lastly, collecting 420 azure would take roughly 5 hours. From collecting all port resources mentioned, this would take a total sum of 62 hours at an average time with 4 ships available. Not including the trade good resources received from opening the caskets, this will add on top of the average time taken. The time taken to collect all trade goods obtained from the open caskets would take an average time of approximately 39 hours. Therefore, the total sum to collect all port resources and trade goods takes 101 hours roughly. So fishing for 9 hours with the Casket Salvaging Scrimshaw saves approximately 101 hours from gathering resources in player-owned ports. Now the question that comes to mind is using the Scrimshaw better to lose money or save time? Depending on the situation, saving time can be very beneficial when gathering resources in player-owned ports. There are only 15 available voyages per day and only 4 ships at maximum that can be sent out along with the time duration for each resource. 101 hours saved can take 4 to 5 days roughly if gathering the resources received from the open caskets. From the resources given, this can be used to purchase new crew, upgrade ship parts, or upgrade buildings. The Casket Scrimshaw can be advantageous early on during player-owned ports, especially for advancing to further regions quickly. However, the one downside to this is that even though with the amount of resources obtained from the caskets, you will still have to send out voyages to gather resource. This means you may have extra resources left over from progressing through one region to another region. The other issue is for people who have progressed to the end portion of player-owned ports, so any extra resources can be obsolete. The option to choose from either losing money or saving time is dependent on choice. Overall, the Casket Scrimshaw is a reasonably good item to use compared to its woodcutting counterpart. If there are any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. So that concludes my analysis on casket fishing, and as always, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.